This is Thursday, the 3rd of November 2022, with the Irish National Stud Kildare. Now, this is a tribute video to mark what would have been 5 years at the time that Liam and I met national in the Irish National Defence in the Irish National Stud. We met him 5 years ago this day in the Irish National Stud. We met him at this actual stable here, in this corner stable here in the Sunsherish yard. Put the camera around so you know where we are. Sunsherish yard. Shut the sign. Shut the sign at the top there. Sunsherish yard. Put the sign at the top there.
Yeah, I did.
Sunsherish yard. This is where we met national exactly 5 years ago to this day. It was on the day we met him. It was actually on a Friday, but for some reason this year it's falling on a Thursday. But we met him on a Friday, the 3rd of November, at this actual corner stable here. For some reason, I don't know what it was, I don't know why it is, for some reason we were told 5 years ago, we're down by, I think it was Gay Force, what was Gay Force 10s, or was the Vista Spear side at the time. It was the Vista Spear side of politics at the time, I think it was, and they were saying there's a brand new stallion. They were saying, I think it was, I can't remember, it was a passerby, or was a member staff or a passerby told us?
Forget it.
I think it was a passerby. I think
Passerby, yeah.
I think it was a passerby. I said there's a brand new stallion and he's the son of Invincible Spirit. Something like that. I think it was over the other side, or was it, must have been over this, I can't remember exactly, but we're in the stallion paddocks, I know that for a fact. And they're saying there's a brand new stallion and he's the son of Invincible Spirit. So, and he said, well, where is he? And he's in the Sunsherish yard, in the corner stall on the left corner stall, the Sunsherish yard. So, and apparently we weren't told until the very last minute, but apparently he had arrived the previous day, the Thursday, the 2nd of November. Apparently he arrived the previous day, the 2nd of November. But we didn't know until the last minute. Apparently we met him on the 3rd, which was a Friday, and he met him again on the Sunday, the 5th, which was the final day of the season, the 5th of November. We finished on the Friday, the Sunday the 5th. So we met him twice, but we went down to see him a few times on both days. We went down to visit him a few times on both days. We went down to see him twice on the Friday, I think, and I think we went down to see him twice again on the Sunday, to see him. We went out to meet him a few times, to have a little time with them and spend a little time with them, because it was coming near the end of the season. So this is the actual stable where we met national, and you put the camera into it there. This is the actual stable where we met him, and you can see it's got a graveyard thing, a tombstone over, because we're celebrating Halloween at the moment. But this is the stable where he was when we met him, and this corner stall. And we were kind of puzzled, or I was actually puzzled, why would he put a new stallion in the Sunsherish yard? Apparently they didn't have any stable set up for him yet. Apparently, so there's a horse box here in the middle of the area too as well. The horse box here in the middle of the area. Apparently he's the son of Invincible Spirit. So apparently that's what they were told. But we didn't know what his name was until, I can't remember when we found out what his name was. I think we eventually found out, but I think it was before the season finished that his name was National Defence. I never heard of National Defence. I never heard of the name or nothing. I never heard of the name. It wasn't very well known to me at all. But apparently, we got on very well. So it would have been 5 years. So, as you know, he's now sadly passed away there on the 5th of September in Australia. So I still don't know what happened. David thinks it's something linked to the injury. They could have had a heart attack. I think he's too young to have a heart attack, and I don't think the injury would have been too fatal, but it wouldn't have been fatal enough to kill him. But he's had very bad luck when it comes to injuries. The camera up too highly.
It's okay, I can see it perfectly.
He had very bad luck with the injuries. As you know, he was due to start his first season. He was supposed to start his first season in Australia in 2018, in Australia. But apparently, as he's getting on, he you know, the usual process. What they normally do with them, for a shuttle horse, the normal procedure is they bring him to England for 2 to 3 weeks for quarantine. He went to England as per normal, and then just as they were going to relocation to Sweden and to Australia, he's getting on this side. He's getting on the plane. He got kicked by a horse, so they had to bring him the whole way back. So we were over at what was Gayforce 10 side of the paddocks at the time, and Liam spotted a bay horse, and it was in the paddock, I think, next to Free Eagles on the right hand side, and I was kind of confused. He saw a black tail or something, a black tail, you know. Couldn't be national, surely, it couldn't be national. So Liam and I went over to investigate to see what was the story. So we went over to Invincible Spears. I said hello to Invincible and Free Eagle, and then I went down towards the end, and so Liam, I said, no, this I don't see that the thing, this decoration. This decoration light was, I think, it was around that side at the time. I thought, that's not a chestnut. That's a bay. And it's a bay. It's not a chestnut. You know, he thought it was decoration light at first. He said, that's not a chestnut. That's a bay. You know, national. They bought National back. National, he's back. Bought National back. And oh God, they bought him back. I got a shock. I nearly had a heart attack. I didn't know what was going on. Why would they bring him back? They brought him back. I was very confused on why they brought National back. So later on, we were went up to the Stallions. I think we're on our way. So we're on our way to lunch at the time, were we? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
We're on our way to lunch, were we? And you saw Paul, I think. I can't remember we were on our way to lunch or we were coming back after lunch. I can't remember. We were asking Paul. And of course, Paul never gave us straight answers. It's staff, as you know, they never give us any straight answers. He says he's on holiday. And I knew full well that wasn't the truth, that wasn't the case, because it didn't make any sense. How could they bring a horse back from Australia and bring him on a holiday? You can't bring a horse back and then send him off again. That doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. You can't bring a shuttle horse back to Ireland for a holiday. You know, if they're sending the horse on shuttle, they stay over there. That'd be the normal procedure. Has been send them over there, and to send them over there till Christmas time to January. That'd be the normal procedure. If a shuttle horse is going sent over to Australia, this means that they'll stay there till Christmas, January. That's the normal procedure. They stay over there for at least 6 months to do their breeding process. That's the normal procedure. If a horse is going to shuttle, it means they go to England for three weeks, and then they go to Australia for the 6 months duration or wherever it is the time what they do, and they come back after Christmas. That's normal procedure. They don't come back for a holiday, you know. So luckily, I found out the actual reason why he didn't go over is because he got kicked by a horse. So that's the reason why he couldn't go to Australia. So he said, I was looking at, there was a notice.
Who told you?
I found up at the Sunstud. There was a notice at the Sunstud letter saying National won't be coming over for the 2020 or to 2018 season because he got injured, got kicked by a horse. He won't be returned. He won't be coming to. He won't be shuttling to Australia this year because he got kicked by a horse. So that's
while it's getting on the plane.
He got kicked by a horse. So he won't be shuttling over to Australia this year. They're going to give him a year break. So he started his first season in 2019. It was supposed to be his second season. 2019 would have been his second season, but it turned out to be his first official season. And then that was his second injury, because his first injury, as you know, was his racing career. That's what he had to retire early because of injury. So that was his second injury, was the kick by the horse. And then last year was his third injury, you know, getting injured in covering duty. That was his third injury last year. And then suddenly, it was looking very positive for his return to come to the stud this year. It was looking very positive for his return. And then suddenly I get this news that he passed away on the 15th of September. So it was a bit of a shocker, as you can imagine. I'm still haven't gone over it yet. Still haven't recovered from it, and I still have my bad days, as you can imagine. And I'm sure a lot of people are still in shock and still have a lot of, still have their down days as well. And a lot of people are very fond of Nashville, as you know, and he's very, very, very much loved by everybody. And a lot of the tourists were very fond of him. He was very friendly, and he always came over to the door. And my last association with Nashville was on the 24th of June last year, before he went off to Australia. So that's the last time I saw him alive. And so I was getting really hyped up for his return and everything else. And so I was even going on and wondering where he's going to be stabled and everything else, you know. Where they're going to put him, and wonder what his fee was going to be. And so, yeah. So I have very happy memories about Nashville, and it's going to be. It still doesn't feel real. Still doesn't feel real today that he's gone. Still doesn't feel real, because next year I'll be expecting to see him walk into that stable next year. I will. I'm still expecting him to walk into that stable next year. It's going to feel very empty next year. I feel like there's a big gap missing, big hole missing. You know, it won't feel complete without him there. Then.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Are you still a bit shocked about it?
Yeah, I'm very shocked about it still, yeah.
Does it feel real for you yet?
Not really, no. Have you sunk in yet for some reason?
He's so young, he's only 8, you know.
Yeah.
He's only 8 years old, Liam. You know, still can't sink it in, you know. This is where you first met him, do you believe that? This is where we met him first, in this stable. Yeah, this stable where we met him 5 years ago. This corner stable. Lovely chat in here. Yeah. See him walking around in here, and yeah, him coming over to the door to say hello to me, you know. And he's standing here facing me. He looked like he was literally staring at me. And I was saying, I wonder what you're thinking about Nashville. And you were saying, always probably thinking of philosophical thoughts, was it?
Yeah.
Remember that time? Philosophical, what's that word?
Philosophical thought.
Yeah, philosophical thought. He was just standing there staring at me. Remember, he was just staring.
Yeah.
He was just standing here staring at me, and you were thinking, oh, what you thinking about Nashville? What you thinking about? Philosophical, I can't say that word.
Philosophical thought.
I can't say it.
Philosophical thought.
I can't say it.
Philosophical.
Philosophical.
Yeah, close. That's close.
I can't say it. It's very hard word to say. That's exactly what you were saying. And then you were going kind of joking, and you're probably saying, oh, he's probably thinking about computer programming. Remember?
Oh,
yeah. Remember, he's standing here. He's facing me. Standing here, this side here. By this wall here, look.
Yeah.
Here. By this wall. He's standing here by this wall. He's standing facing me. He's literally facing me. He had his face looking at me, staring at me. And you're saying, oh, he's probably thinking about computer programming or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was literally staring at me. I don't know whether he was asleep, but he had his eyes looking directly at me. Yeah. That time, do you remember? He's just staring at me like he's glaring at me like, you know. What are you thinking about, Nashville? What are you thinking? Oh, he's staring at me. You know, he's actually looking at me. He's just standing there looking at me. You know. It's probably he was probably dreaming, or unless he was asleep. I don't know, or unless he was just looking at me. I don't know what it was. He looked like he was daydreaming, or he's asleep, or unless he was just standing there looking at me. You know, kind of concentrating on me. I don't know what it was. He looked like he was concentrating on me or something like that. But he was just standing staring at me, and I was wondering, what you're thinking about there, Nashville? What are you thinking about? And then you were going on about the philosophical thoughts and stuff like that, and the computer programming and the whatnot, you know, that kind of thing. You're kind of joking, you know. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to be really sorely missed, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's going to be really sorely missed now, yeah. Yeah, he's going to be really sorely missed. What time is it?
It's now 2:15.
Already?
Yeah.
How long is this video?
This video is 15 minutes.
Okay, folks. Thanks for listening, and so National, wherever you are, rest in peace. And I've been thinking of you, and your offspring will carry on and live on in your kind of legacy. And they're doing it very proud at the moment, so they're doing it very well, and they're doing it very proud. And I've seen your name pop up a few times now over the racing cards there recently. So hoping that things will go well, and in the future now, and they'll do you proud and carry on your legacy and stuff like that. So I hope, folks, I hope it's okay, folks. I hope you enjoyed the talk about National, and so. He'll always remain in our hearts, and he'll always live on. He'll always live on in our hearts, and he'll always be remembered, and by all of us. So, thank you, folks.